Tuesday is here. College basketball action today on this great card. A lot of good matchups we have in conference play. Can UConn recover from being upset by Seton Hall? We're covering them and a few other teams today. Let's get into it. This is the Free Three.
I love it, Noble. Noble, I also love your YouTube videos. I watched them while I was gone. That was fire.
But getting paid because yesterday we had a full sweep. Mike going under, that was just icing on the cake. Why are we going to go
in such a weak AFC South?
Unless we have the NBA Blowout Association today.
Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13
When you hear the sirens, you know what that means.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
What is up, my family? It is your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make that money. We have a beautiful card today ahead of us here on Super Tuesday. You guys know what happens in college basketball season on Tuesdays. A lot of marquee matchups, a lot of tough conference games as we're now getting close to the season or part of the season where every game matters because now we get seeding for the conference tournament, which is going to matter with first round buys and matchups. A lot of great things are happening. Villanova and UConn today. UConn losing last game against Seton Hall, a team that only has 2 conference wins. Nobody was expecting that. That's going to be an exciting game to check out tonight. Purdue on the road against Michigan State. Oh man, that's going to be another great matchup. Texas A&M against Mississippi State. So many great games today, and I'm going to be covering a lot of them. So make sure you guys stay on for this video today because I've got 2 sides, and I've also got 1 money line parlay for you guys. So let's get into it. How we did yesterday, basically a break-even day here on the channel. Let me pull up real quickly how we did. It was basically a 2-2 day. I don't know why Action Network is not allowing me to pull up the record, but basically you can see right here from the screenshot that I grabbed, we lost Baylor on the money line. Tough loss for them against Arizona. They were just thoroughly outplayed. I'm not going to lie. The 7-man rotation for Baylor right now is tough, so it's hard to overcome that. We took Utah -1.5. They get it done against Kansas State. Officiating was a little bit questionable, but listen, we'll take the win. Virginia +14.5. They lose by 18 points. Duke is damn good, man. They're damn good. Oh man, I can't say Final Four just yet because I'm always like, it depends on the bracket, but they're good. And then I also added a 3-way parlay, money line parlay late. We did McNeese, we did Grambling, and then we also did that Southern on the money line. All 3 of those teams hit. So basically a 2-2 day. We're down by like $30 or something. So basically a wash of a day. So hopefully for today we can rebound and get back on the right track. And then if you have not hit that subscribe button, if you're not liked to the channel, make sure you guys do so. We appreciate it. We're continuing to grow the algorithm here. We're almost at 1,500 subscribers. We appreciate you guys so much. And again, if you are new to the channel, all you have to do is comment below. And if we sweep the board, which it's not been common this month, I'm not gonna lie, we haven't swept the board probably at all this month. So we were overdue for a sweep. So if you do comment, then we'll Venmo somebody, cash up somebody $30 because this is the Free Three. So let's dive into the winners for today. First game up on the board. Let's just dive right into it. We're going to go take a look at the Mississippi State and Texas A&M game. Now, Mississippi State is, Texas A&M is a team that I typically take. If you follow my picks day in, day out, if you come to the Free Three every weekday here, then you guys know that Texas A&M is a team that I like. They're 20-5 on the year, and what makes Texas A&M really tick is their offensive rebounding and their defense. They get defensive stops, which allows them to get out in transition. They get their offensive rebounding, which also allows them to get putbacks, easy layups, but also free throws. That's how they score their points. That's how they feast. That's how they play basketball. Mississippi State, on the other hand, they're a little bit more diverse. Still very much a very gritty defensive team, but they can shoot the 3 ball a little bit well. They do have playmakers who can kind of take you off the dribble, off the bounce, and we saw them just beat their rival Ole Miss on the road in their last matchup, and that was a big win for the program. So now something has to give, right? Kind of gave you a summary of what both teams look like. If we look at the numbers real quickly for both of these teams, I want you to kind of see what they've been doing thus far against the number. Texas A&M 15-8 against the number, and 6-4 on the road. Meanwhile, Mississippi State 12-13 against the number, but 7-10 at home. So that's where things can get a little bit concerning, and you might be asking yourself, Noble, why the team that you've been riding with for so long this year? Because I think that Texas A&M is due for a little bit of a regression, and I believe that the home court of Mississippi State is going to pay dividends, and I like the fact here that this is still a very efficient offense. And again, they're going to do very similar things that Texas A&M does. And the question is, who's going to be the team that can do it better? So it becomes advantage home court, advantage the team that literally just beat their rival on the road by 10 points. And they played Florida hard in this matchup as well. 6-6 in conference, right there middle of the pack. This is the difference between getting a second round bye and having to play the first weekend or the first day. I like Mississippi State here. We're going to lock them in on the money line as the first best bet of the day. Now, Texas A&M, let's look at them real fast. Again, you can see they're 6th in defensive efficiency, 34th in effective field goal percentage, 26th in turnover percentage. But this is the concerning part here. 292 in effective field goal percentage, 306 in three-point percentage, 256 in two-point percentage. Even though Mississippi State is not really great from the three-point line, you can still see they're 35th in two-point percentage. So they still can score the ball. They don't turn over the ball a lot. 46 in turnover percentage, 111th in effective field goal percentage on the offensive side. So they're the better offense, but they still do the things that Texas A&M does well, which is rebound on the offensive glass. So if a team that grabs a lot of offensive rebounds, they also box out defensively on the defensive glass because they understand how impactful that is. I think those two things nullify itself. Texas A&M in the defenses and Mississippi State in the defense, those two nullify itself. So it literally comes down to home court, better coaching, which I think Buzz Williams and Chris Jans kind of cancel each other out because Buzz Williams does some questionable stuff at times. And it literally comes home court, better offense. I'm taking Mississippi State here. We're locking them in to win 1 unit. Now, this is what I will say. You can see here the line opened up at 3.5 and now it's at 2.5. I would assume that more money is going to come in on Texas A&M. So you may want to wait a little bit, shop around, see what you can get. You can see we can get minus 135s out here. I believe that you may be able to get it a little bit cheaper, but we're going to lock it in right now. But I think this is a live bet type of game. Mississippi State against Texas A&M at home. We're taking them to win 1 unit. Now, our second pick of the day is also going to happen in the college basketball ranks. And we're going to go to the other marquee matchup of the day. And that's going to be between Purdue and Michigan State. You can see Purdue's 19-7 on the year. Meanwhile, Michigan State is 20-5. Michigan State, their back was against the wall in their last game against Illinois. Down in that matchup with about 5 minutes left to go. And they literally did not give up a single point. It's actually funny because Illinois had 67 points with 5 minutes left to go, and they took away 2 points for some reason. I don't remember why. But now, and then they finished the game with 65. So if you look at the final score, 79-65. Michigan State went on a crazy 20-0 run to end the game, and they win the game. But if you look at it, they were on the precipice of losing 4 of their last 5 games. But instead, they found a way. And that is what great coaches do, a.k.a. Tom Izzo. That's what great programs do, a.k.a. Michigan State. Now, they are at home against a Purdue Boilermaker team that's lost 2 games in a row. Lost on the road to Michigan. That was going to be a tough win regardless. And then they also lost against Wisconsin at home, and they just couldn't stop Wisconsin. Wisconsin shot 70% from the field in the second half of that matchup, and you can see it's going to be very hard to win a lot of conference games when you give up 94 points at home. So, what am I looking at here? I do lean Michigan State minus 3.5. If you want to play that, you can. I do lean them on the money line if you want to do a money line parlay. But I think the angle in this game is going to be the total. And if you can see here for Purdue, they've gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. Over 146, over 156, over 145, over 151.5. Purdue on the year is 15-10 to the over. But this game to me screams old school East Lansing, let's make it muddy in the snow, grit and grind between the numbers, between the lines type of game. At Michigan State, that's how they've been winning their games this year. Under 158.5, under 148.5, under 141, under 150. So while one team has gone over in 4 of the last 5 games, the other team has gone under in 4 of the last 5 games. Meanwhile, Michigan State is 9-16 to the under, 5-12 to the under at home. And I think you can realize that you don't have the offense to score 80, 90 points with Purdue. And I believe that we have to lock in under 148.5 as the second best bet in this matchup. Now, if we take a look real quickly at this Michigan State offense, the reason why I think we're going to go to the under is because although they're 27th in offensive efficiency, they play at 150th in tempo. So that's not very fast. And they play 353, or excuse me, they're ranked 353rd in three-point percentage. So they don't shoot the three ball well. That's how they lost to Indiana. Because Indiana right here went zone. And Michigan State couldn't hit a single three-pointer or couldn't hit a single shot to break the zone. But the problem is Purdue has played one possession of zone all season. One possession. So they're not going to go zone. They're going to stay man-to-man. And when you go man-to-man and you like to play with and shoot a lot of three-pointers like Purdue likes to do, a lot of diving kick shots like Purdue likes to do, that leads to longer rebounds, which sets up the game for Tom Izzo's offense, which is grab the defensive glass, let's get out in transition, and let's score in transition. That plays right into what Tom Izzo wants to do offensively. If he doesn't have to play a half-court defense with a team that can't shoot a three-pointer, that's playing into his hands. But Purdue on the other side, look at them. 275th in tempo. So even though they're 8th in offensive efficiency, 11th in effective field goal percentage, they still play slow. They run their half-court offense. And the reason why they've struggled in back-to-back games is because their team is heavily predicated on these three guys. Trey Kaufman-Renn, Braden Smith, and Fletcher Lawyer. If you take those three guys out of the game and you have C.J. Cox try to beat you, Caleb Furst try to beat you, they can't. They can't. So what's Michigan State going to do? Lock down on these three, let the role players try to beat them, and I don't see it happening. But I also don't see them scoring enough points because Michigan State understands, if we look at if we go to team rankings real quick, Michigan State, in terms of opponents' points per game, they are top 50, giving up 68 points per game. So at a total of 148.5, they're expecting Purdue, if we go to the team total right here, to score 72.5. I lean under team total for Purdue as well. But we're just going to isolate it to the total. I'm expecting a slower paced game. I don't think Michigan State can get into a track meet with Purdue and win this game. And Michigan State's been going under all season, especially at home. Let's lock this in as our second best bet. Third and final play of the day is going to be our moneyline parlay. And these have been up and down for us. So what I've decided to do is I'm not going to chase value. And what I mean by that is I'm not adding extra legs just because I'm trying to get to plus 100 or plus a certain number. I'm going to take the teams that I think is just going to win and call it that. I've been trying to keep it at 2 teams, max 3. This one's a 3-teamer. 3 teams that are going to get it done today on the money line. I also think all 3 of these teams will cover the spread, but I just don't want to play around the spread because they're a little bit larger spreads. We're going to go Texas Tech, UConn, and Pitt. Let's look at these 3 games real fast. Texas Tech is on the road against TCU. We're going to lock them in on the money line. TCU 14-11 on the year. Meanwhile, Tech is 20-5. I do think that Texas Tech can cover this spread at 7.5. They're the better team. They beat TCU last time by like 13 points at home. People can say it's a revenge spot for TCU. They're playing better basketball right now. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. That's the only reason why I just don't want to play with the spread because, I mean, granted, it's not really that good of a competition. West Virginia being the best team here. Texas Tech is on a whole nother level. You can see they lost right there by 14. And that's why I think Tech is going to win the game. And I believe they're going to win this, cover the spread. But let's just say Tech on the money line. Second leg, UConn. They just lost to Seton Hall. Do we have anything else to say? This Connecticut team is on the brink. They're not the 2-time defending champion that we're used to seeing. They've lost 8 games. They're 9-5 in conference. Bad loss here to Seton Hall. Villanova's just not that good, man. And you need the type of dominant win that it gives you for Villanova. They lost here to Villanova. It's a revenge spot. They're at home. If you don't win this game, if you're UConn, you have major question marks. And it's as simple as that. Do they cover the spread? I think so. Just take them on the money line. Last best bet is fade Syracuse, like we've been doing all season. I'm a Syracuse Orange fan ever since Carmelo Anthony days. So I know this team inside and out, and they suck. They're terribly coached. They have no offense. They can't score, and they suck. They're 11-15 on the year. If we go to their against the spread numbers, I mean, they're 12-11 against the number, but they're just not good, man. They're just not good. Pitt, they're right there in the mix in the ACC. They can't afford to really drop any more games. 15-10. 6-8, right? They're coming off some bad losses, so they need to win everything that they can from here on out if they're expecting to get any type of love from the committee. They have a few quality wins like Ohio State, LSU, Stanford, West Virginia, but they got to pick it up. So those 3 teams get you to -117. Again, it's not the odds value that we're used to, but I'm not chasing extra legs trying to get to +100. Again, if you do want to add a few extra teams in here, Akron's going to handle business against Northern Illinois. Let me see real quickly. Florida is going to beat Oklahoma. Iowa State's going to beat Xavier. It's going to be Colorado. I don't want to touch that Xavier Butler game. Wyoming should win, but that seems a little sketch. This Illinois-Wisconsin game's a toss-up for sure. Houston is going to be Arizona State, but you can see there's not a whole lot of value there. UCLA is going to beat Minnesota, so you can add some of those, but that's what we're locking in for today on the free 3. All right, my friends. Real quickly, our 3 best bets of the day is going to be Texas Tech, Connecticut, and Pitt. That's our money line parlay of the day. Those 3 teams there. Our other 2 best bets are going to be the under between Purdue and Michigan State, and then also Mississippi State on the money line. You can see right there that it's all to win 1 unit, and we will lock that in. Follow us on Action at Noble Living for any added plays that we'll have throughout the day, and I appreciate you guys for tapping in. As always, it is your boy Noble Living. Follow me on all socials, and let us have a day. We need a sweep like air, man. Let me know what you guys are taking, because I need some more winners, right? So I love to tell some of your bets. So if we get a sweep, guys, then we will be Venmoing some people some money. Just comment below. Appreciate all the love and support. And as always, dictate your fate. And I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. Later, gang.